Hey everyone, so after last week's boring episode, we are back with a bang and we are back on track. This is the episode 8 review of The Last of Us. So this is the David episode, basically, for lack of a better description. And I really enjoyed this episode. I think that the casting of David was absolutely top notch. I don't know the actor's name, but compared to the video game David, sure, he doesn't really look like him. David in the game has darker hair, etc., but this guy absolutely nails it. He is so good, and it's kind of another example of this show really giving a lot of space to the side characters. You know, we had it with Bill and Frank getting their own episode. We had it with Sam and Henry. We had it with the leader of the Kansas City Rebellion. I can't remember her name now. And we get it in this episode. You see quite a lot of David, and I just thought they absolutely got him spot on. He was so good. He was kind of someone you kind of respected him. You know, he was the leader of his clan and trying to do best by them. He had this authority to him, but he also seemed to have some kind of kindness and mercy to him. Maybe he didn't, I don't know, but kind of got that impression at times. And in terms of the episode and what happens, it's like almost just shot for shot, taken straight from the game. I think possibly this episode is the best example of them taking so much from the game. You have Ellie hunting the animals at the beginning, which I think is the first time you ever play as her in the game. You have the interaction with David where they come to get the deer, and Ellie kind of holds them up and exchanges for medicine, etc. It's really good in that in the episode they show you both sides to the story. They kind of show David and his perspective, and obviously Joel has killed someone in their camp, so they're kind of looking for a man and a young girl traveling alone. He's obviously trying to get food for his people, etc. So you definitely kind of get both sides to the story. Obviously, Joel is still wounded and recovering. I think what I liked the most about this episode was David and Ellie's interactions. I thought they were just, each scene they had together was just so brilliant. When he eventually captures her and locks her up in his, I think, kitchen, their interaction is so good. And when I played the game, I kind of obviously knew that David was a cannibal. And there was, when I played the game, I think I remembered, I felt like there was almost a sexual undertone to like David and Ellie, like as if David seemed to really like her that way. And I got a bit of a pedophile vibe, which made me creep me out more with the game, the character in the game. And you kind of do see that in this episode. It's almost like he fancies her. Like he really seems to admire her and gives her this compelling talk about how they're both very similar. They're both leaders. They both are violent, etc. And he kind of almost wants her to be his partner in terms of running the clan and running the group. But yeah, that scene is so good. And when I was watching the show, I almost forgot certain parts of the game, and then something would happen in the show and I'm like, oh yeah, that's exactly as it happens in the game. And in terms of the locations and sets and stuff, it looks exactly as it is in the game. Like where she meets David for the first time, when they kind of make a fire and they're sitting there, David has no gun and Ellie's got the gun pointed at him. That whole section looks just like it does in the game. The kind of the town that you fight through when you're Ellie in the game, that is the kind of that resort is kind of where they're based. So that looks exactly like it is in the game. And then kind of, you have the boss fight, David and Ellie, and that is really well done. And I think this episode has definitely the most brutal moment in it for me, which is Ellie and David at the end. You all know what happens if you played the game, but yeah, it's very brutal watching that happen in live action. And then kind of Joel comes to get her and calls her baby girl, which is just like it is in the game. There's quite a few bits of dialogue that are straight from the game that I love. When Ellie's holding up David and his friend, she keeps calling him Buddy Boy, which is exactly what they do in the game. But yeah, really, really good episode. I was a bit worried at the beginning because I saw that it was about 55 minutes, just under an hour. And I thought, okay, is that enough time to get this all in? And I think it was a very slick, well made, well edited episode. They fitted in quite a lot of story in there. So yeah, I'm really happy because I didn't enjoy last week's episode 7, as I made it clear in the video last week. I feel like that's my least favorite, least engaging episode so far of the series, of a series that has been absolutely 10 out of 10 so far. So now next week is the finale. I really hope it's a long episode, a bit like episode 1. I hope they go all out and make it like an hour and a half or an hour and 20 minutes. I feel like it deserves it. And Bella Ramsey, the actress who plays Ellie, has come out and said that she thinks the final episode will divide fans. I can't remember her exact quote, but she said that it's definitely gonna be an interesting one. So yeah, her quote has kind of got me even more hyped up for the final episode. I'm not sure what to expect, but yeah, next Monday will be the last of these video series, well, until season 2. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed watching it. And again, if you've happened to watch this video but you haven't yet seen the series or even tried the game, I would recommend doing both. This is one of the best games you'll ever play. It's an absolutely captivating story, so definitely try and play the game and try and watch this TV show if you can. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Take care.